cannot take, and I don't have enough random access memory or RAM to be able to take it. So I'm really sorry about that. I wanted you guys to come in, talk about Manny Pacquiao, at length. The feed started, and then I guess I had to stop. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. But we're gonna get into it as the day goes along. My phone is just not good enough to do streaming like I would really like it to do. Okay. Let me hit you guys with this scripture first. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. All right, let's start off with that. All right, let's get into uh, boxing. Okay, as you can see from the title, it says Errol Spence will not stop Manny Pacquiao, and Bud will not KO Shawn Porter. Now, how am I so bold to be able to make those statements? Okay, let me explain. One, well, why Manuel Marquez did to Manny Pacquiao back in the day, that ain't gonna happen again because Pacquiao's too smart a fighter for that to happen. All right. His strategy in this fight against Errol Spence is going to be an in and out strategy. He's going to use his speed and footwork to move around Errol Spence to pivot around him. He thinks that Errol Spence slide in slow foot, sort of, not too slow foot, but kind of slow foot. And he thinks that Pacquiao believes he has quicker feet, quicker hands, and so he'll be able to get in position quicker. And so he wants to make Errol Spence turn a lot, turn Errol Spence a lot, and it's a great fighting strategy. Okay, I've seen him do it against Brandon Rios, who's a lot slower feet than Errol Spence is. Antonio Margarito, he's done it against Oscar De La Hoya, who's a pretty quick-footed guy. So Pacquiao's using that strategy. That's part of his strategy. Now, if Errol Spence keeps it long, Pacquiao has another strategy to get past the jab. He's going to have to slip past the jab, be small, get underneath the jab, get underneath the punches to get what he needs to get done. It's up to Errol Spence to be able to pivot to match Manny Pacquiao, to keep Manny Pacquiao in front of him, to set traps so Manny Pacquiao runs into those traps. But even if he does set traps for Manny Pacquiao to run into, I'm going to say this again. Adrian Broner, I think he fractured Manny Pacquiao's jaw, catching him with counter punches. That didn't put down Pacquiao. I don't know why Marquez particularly got Pacquiao out of there. Okay, it was in the heat of battle. Manny Pacquiao was coming in to finish Marquez, and Marquez timed Pacquiao. Pacquiao put his full weight behind his punches at that point in time. He doesn't do that anymore. Pacquiao is not a fighter who puts the full weight behind his punches. Even when he was coming in against Keith Thurman, he could pull up on the drop of a dime. Pacquiao can pull up and pull back his punches, which is very impressive. uh, may I say? There are only one or two fighters I've seen do something like that, and that was Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather can do that because he stays in balance. And the other fighter that I know does something like that is actually there are a couple more. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. They can pull up on their punches. Okay, they don't have to run into another fighter's punches because they stay in balance. Pacquiao is special in the sense that he's not even in balance. He's like his body. He's like he's overshooting over his body, so his whole weight is carrying him forward. And his next step, he pulls all the way back and he keeps the high guard. It's really beautiful to watch. He's such a small guy, and that's what I think is so impressive to me. He's such a small guy to be doing what he's doing. I don't think there's any fighter in the history of boxing that moved quite like that. I think the only other guy was Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor doesn't move that quick. Um, Aaron Pryor has a certain rhythm and movement to him, relentlessness, but not that fast. I mean, Pacquiao's really, really quick, and that's because he came up from the lower weight classes, of course. He fights like a small guy, actually. If you guys watch the flyweights fight, and the straw weights and so on, the minimum weights, you'll see what I'm talking about. Even though the minimum weights today and the flyweights today, they're a lot bigger, okay? But Pacquiao, very, very quick, very, very quick, and that quickness is because he fought small, and he always fought in that small fighting style. And Freddie Roach added a couple wrinkles to his craft, but for the most part, Pacquiao is a small guy, or a small fighter coming up. So that's what allows him to have these benefits. He's really remarkable, people, and I really want to talk about him at length. But I just want to explain to you guys why I don't think Errol Spence is going to knock out Pacquiao. That's not going to happen in this fight. Now, Pacquiao And Freddie Roach, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up because I want to see you guys win. Okay, I'm actually rooting for Pacquiao to win because I'm an old guy, right? I'm 46 years old. Pacquiao's 42, going on 43. I'll be 47 the beginning of next year, and I'm rooting for the old guy to win. I think that he's got so much experience. I think that's going to be a big. It could work as a tremendous advantage for him. And generally, I would be backing Errol Spence to beat Pacquiao. I don't really hate Pacquiao, and I think Pacquiao is doing something that is so remarkable. It's so, uh, so different to what's happening today. And most of the old guys that tried, they failed. So, Vladimir Klitschko, he tried, he failed. You think of Sugar Ray Robinson, he tried. He wasn't really fighting that world champion, but he tried and he failed against Paul Pender. I mean, he was up in age though. I think he was about 42. So I think Pacquiao, the only other guy who did that was George Foreman. You know what I mean? George Foreman did it. Bernard Hopkins did it. Bernard Hopkins was a late starter. Pacquiao's an early starter. You're talking about Pacquiao did like what Duran was doing. You know what I'm saying? So if Pacquiao, let me explain to you guys how great Pacquiao is, right? So you guys can put this in perspective. Pacquiao did better than Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran, I think, was 38, 39 years old when he beat Iron Barkley for the middleweight championship of the world. Okay, he'd been fighting a middleweight for a while. People thought he was done, and then he beat Iron Barkley. Okay, very competent, very skilled. Not very skilled, but reasonably skilled. Good fighter. Pounced on opportunities. Beat Iron Barkley beat Thomas David Hearns. Right, stopped him, knocked him out. Found the opportunity, realized Hearns was reaching over his punches, and capitalized on that. And Pacquiao beat Aaron Barkley. Not Pacquiao, sorry, Roberto Duran. Pacquiao's done way more than that now. He beat Keith Thurman. This is not again young Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman is a much better boxer than Aaron Barkley was. And some of you always say sacrilege. No, I'm serious. He's a much better boxer. Keith Thurman, Aaron Barkley couldn't outbox. He couldn't fight on the outside. When I say outbox, I mean fighting outside the pocket. So you're using your reach, you're using your length, and you're fighting outside the pocket. Okay. Uh, Keith Thurman could do that. Keith Thurman could also fight on the inside, could pressure you. Okay. And he had and Keith Thurman had real serious power. Okay. Even Pacquiao talked about that. And Keith Thurman was beating his ass. Okay. In the middle to late rounds, Keith Thurman was beating up Pacquiao. Okay. That's what was happening. And then Pacquiao turned around round 10 and turned the fight all the way around with that body punch. And that's the nice thing about Pacquiao. You try to press Pacquiao, that you're giving Pacquiao the opportunity to counterpunch you. All right. But Errol Spence is a very smart fighter, and he's the number one welterweight for a reason. Okay, there's a reason he's the number one welterweight. So I believe Errol Spence is pressing for the knockout if it comes. If it presents itself, it's going to come. He's going to fight smart. He's not going to just trying to fight Pacquiao in the pocket from the get-go. No, he's going to work his way into the pocket, meaning he's going to use his length and reach and range to, first in the beginning, he'd probably be boxing Pacquiao, fighting him from the outside. That's a smart move to do. So you can observe him, see what he does well, so that when you want to go into the pocket and deal with him and handle and trade shots or whatever, you know how you're approaching it. I'm assuming that's the approach he's going to use. So I'm assuming also Floyd Mayweather, if he gives him any tips, I don't think Errol will tell people when Floyd gives him tips, but I believe that the approach that Errol's going to use is that. That's the smartest approach to a fighter like Pacquiao. You want to see what he brings to the table. You want to see what he does. Then you're going to test him in the pocket, see what he does. So you're not going into the pocket. And Pacquiao's going to try to move in and out of the pocket, which means Errol's going to watch for his points of entry. So Errol's going to try and, if Pacquiao goes this way, for example, let's say Pacquiao goes this way, Errol's going to face him and go and try and pivot with him. Okay? Again, Pacquiao's tricky. So Lomachenko's tricky, Pacquiao's tricky. You got to be sharp. You got to be fast with your feet. And that is something that I think Pacquiao and Freddie Roach are underestimating, how quickly Errol pivots. I'm going to tell you all of this again. And Floyd even said it, and I said it before Floyd said it, but the key to boxing, because remember, boxing is turning all the time, is the pivot. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm just be totally honest with you guys. Errol Spence is really good at pivoting. He's excellent at pivoting. And that's an advantage he has over almost every boxer I've seen in the sport today. He pivots so sweetly and so sharply and so accurately. That's gonna make a big difference. It's not speed right now in this fight. It's about cutting off the angle. So when Pacquiao thinks he has a unique angle of approach, Errol can pivot in and cut that angle off. And that's the key with Errol Spence, and you got to watch for that. Teofimo Lopez also used to pivot against Vasily Lomachenko. You see, he's not quicker on his feet than Lomachenko. Lomachenko shuffles and moves really, really fast. He can't keep up with Lomachenko if he's just trying to circle and do wide pivots and move back. He's not. But he could turn, and turning doesn't take much to do. So when a guy's working all his energy to work up to get an angle on you, all you got to do is just shift the angle a little bit. You see, pivot. It's the secret to boxing. Pivot. You guys remember, your feet are everything. And if you're in balance, it works really, really well. Shout out to XX Raw 2013. He says, good morning to me. Good morning to you, brother. XX Raw says, Pac's probably hoping Spence fight him like he fought Porter. Yes, something like that. Even though, again, Spence was actually having the better of Porter at certain points. His punches, the punches he was actually landing on Porter was breaking Porter down, which is why Porter got dropped late in the fight. And but to be fair, Spence is going to do that later on in the fight against Pacquiao. He's going to bring the fight to Pacquiao, especially in the middle to late rounds. Watch for him to bring the fight to Pacquiao. When Pacquiao starts to slow down a little bit, Spence is going to really put on the heat on it. But I don't think he's going to stop Pacquiao. Spence knows Pacquiao's 42 years old, and Father Time is undefeated, right? So Pacquiao's going to slow down. He's going to start off probably really great. He's going to look for that opportunity, for that explosive release to get Errol Spence with, to capture him, to counter Errol Spence. And Errol Spence has to be smart enough to pivot out the way and counter punch Pacquiao at that point in time. See, what Mayweather did to Pacquiao, which a lot of people miss, is when Pacquiao did do his big run, his big rush at Floyd check hooked him. And Pacquiao went into the ropes. That was Pacquiao's big move. The big move that he made against Keith Thurman. My feed's all messing up now. The big move that he did against Keith Thurman, he couldn't do against Floyd. Floyd changed. He pivoted. He changed directions. And that's how he caught Pacquiao. Errol Spence is going to do something like that. Pacquiao is not going to lunge unless he knows he's really got it. He's smarter now. The Pacquiao that faced Floyd is smarter than the Pacquiao. The Pacquiao that faced Floyd is not as smart as the Pacquiao that faced Keith Thurman. Because the Pacquiao that faced Keith Thurman walked Thurman into a trap. He got Thurman walking him down. And he's gonna bait Errol Spence into walking him down. He's gonna put up that little high guard thingy, and he's gonna block everything because his high guard protects his whole entire body. He's really, really smart. Pacquiao's really smart. He baits you into throwing your offense, and in between your offense, his hands are quicker than yours. Pacquiao's hand speed is ridiculous. He can throw. I remember in the fight with Floyd and Pacquiao in the 8th round. I remember it vividly. Floyd thinks he's got Pacquiao, right? So he's coming in, and he throws 2 big hooks. And in between those 2 big hooks, Pacquiao threw 2 really fast, sharp right hand, lead left, right hand. Bop, bop. And Floyd got it in his face. Boop, boop. And Floyd clinched. He rolled in and clinched on Pacquiao. That's how fast Pacquiao is with his hands, okay? He's not as quick as Floyd. Okay, if Floyd throws a punch and Pacquiao throws a punch, Floyd's going to get to you fast. Okay? But when it comes to combinations, that mother is fast, bro. Some of them you can't even see. He's really blitzed. He's blitzed really fast. I remember in the 3rd round, Pacquiao throws some really strange punches. He's not even looking when he throws certain punches. I remember in the 3rd round, Floyd sized up Pacquiao. He was tapping him to the body, he was jabbing to the body, he was throwing lead rights to the body, right? Floyd standing in front of Pacquiao, right? Floyd pivots around Pacquiao. Pacquiao catches him with a no-look right hand, spins, he pivots and catches him with a left to the body. And I'm like, what the heck? Floyd still rides it, but Oh my goodness. I saw that and I was saying, that's unbelievable. I never seen nothing like that in my life. That's what Pacquiao brings to the table. Okay, he has trademark punches as well. But Errol Spence doesn't. He's never. Errol Spence has never seen nothing like Pacquiao. No matter what Floyd tells him, no matter what other people tell him, he never seen nothing like Pacquiao. And he can't try to just bully Pacquiao. You try to go in there. I'm telling you now. I'm gonna be straight with everybody. If he tries to out fight Pacquiao in the pocket, he gonna learn real quick. You try to outfight Pacquiao in the pocket. You can't just fight him in the pocket, especially at mid range. You can't do that. You got to fight him on the inside. You got to get right up on him, body to body, or you fight him on the outside. When he tires, when he starts to slow down, you can start doing your mid range thing. But you got to watch out for his counters because he is baiting you at every step of the way. And he puts up his little high guard. That high guard, his hands are big, his calves are big. He's explosive like crazy. He's just looking for openings. He's behind that high guard. And he knows that because when he was fighting Floyd, y'all remember when he hurt him in the fourth round and Floyd put up the high guard just like Pacquiao? He imitated Pacquiao. He's looking behind the high guard. Pacquiao withdrew from throwing punches because he knew that's the strategy he uses against his opponents to bait them in. He's a smart guy. He realized Floyd was using the same strategy he was using. And Floyd actually caught him, if you remember, with, I think it was a body punch. He hit him a 1-2, and then he hit him a body punch. Right after that, Pacquiao realized, you ain't going to play my game against me. Okay? And Floyd does that a lot. He plays your own game back at you. He's not, Floyd's so smart. He's not into, I'm the tougher guy. That's bullshit. He ain't going to do that. He is tougher than you, but he's going to play the long game. And I hope Errol hears what I'm saying too, because I like Errol too. I want Pacquiao to win. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now, okay? I really do. That would be tremendous, and it will also set up a Floyd Pacquiao rematch, which would be huge. But having said that, if Errol wins, I'm cool. Errol, I'm not against you, brother. You gotta understand where I'm coming from. I'm not against you. All right, I know you're the favorite. I know what you got. I know what you do. So I know more than likely you'll win this one. Okay? But I'm hoping for history's sake that Pacquiao wins this fight. I don't think Errol's going to feel ashamed at the end of this. It's going to be an epic fight. I'm going to tell y'all right now, it's going to be an epic fight. You know, Errol's looking to beat Pacquiao down. I get it. You got to come in there thinking like that. You know, make a statement. But if you can't beat him down, you know what I mean? You gotta fight smart and then break him down. You know what I'm saying? And Errol's a break him down kind of fighter. So you saw what he did to Shawn. You know, I thought Shawn won that fight, even with the knockdown. You saw what he did to Shawn. He broke Shawn down. That's how he dropped him eventually. Okay? And both of them was tired at the end of that fight. Okay? And I know Errol's gonna bring excitement. Errol's gonna bring the fight to Pacquiao, but you got to bring the fight to Pacquiao smart, Errol. If you try to bring the fight to Pacquiao thinking you're the bigger guy and you're just gonna go in there and break him down and just beat him up, bruh, you in for a huge surprise. Pacquiao gonna beat your ass. Okay, you cannot approach Pacquiao that way. He's talking about beating Pacquiao in the retirement. First of all, man, you can't do that. You don't have the experience to beat Pacquiao into retirement. See, it's all about experience. Pacquiao's a bad motherfucker, man. Okay? And I don't think you hit as hard as Keith Thurman, quite frankly. You break down guys. I'm pretty sure you hit hard, but I don't think you hit hard as Keith Thurman. You break down guys. And I'm not saying that you can't stop Pacquiao with a punch. Absolutely you could. Okay? But Pacquiao has gone through Adrian Broner. I think Adrian Broner hits harder than him. I think Adrian Broner is a very, very hard hitter. A lot of people don't know. Again, people don't understand boxing. I'm going to say it again. Adrian Broner fractured Manny Pacquiao's jaw in the, I think it was the fourth or the second round. One of them. Pacquiao fought the rest of the fight with a fractured jaw. Y'all don't know that. Adrian Broner is a bad motherfucker, man. No. this is a praise. I didn't use motherfucker in the back. Meaning, Adrian Broner. Listen to me, guys. Smash that like button if you're watching. Adrian Broner's a bad boy. That boy can punch. Ask Marcus Maidana, who also got he didn't get a fracture. He got a what do you call it? His cheekbone was also not his cheekbone. His facial bone was also damaged in that fight. That's why Marcus Maidana got respect for Adrian Broner. He said Adrian Broner hits harder than Floyd, way harder than Floyd. Adrian Broner can punch. If y'all don't know that, have some respect for that dude. Okay, he might be funny. He might joke around. He might not kind of got his bearings in boxing. That boy is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. Okay, he's a bad boy. It's just that he lost his sense of direction as to what he's about. And of course, a lot of people hate on him, so because he's so outspoken. All right. But the reality of the situation I'm trying to explain to people is Errol Spence is going to try to go for the KO. You know, smart boxers realize when the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to go for the kill. If I get him hurt, I'm going for the kill. All right. But just because Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, that's the most recent knockout he ever had. If you think about it, think about this. I'm gonna put something into you guys' brains because they always talk about Pacquiao been knocked out 3 times. Yeah, okay. The first time he got knocked out was before he became world champion. Now, he was young. Okay, that was I think he was at strawweight still because he started off a strawweight. Okay, became a flyweight world champion, but he started off a strawweight. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys something. Why Pacquiao? You ain't just stopping Pacquiao. That ain't happening. A lot of people feel they can stop Pacquiao. Y'all need to stop that bullshit. If you get the opportunity to finish his ass, finish him. But very, 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 very hard to do that. Okay, what Marquez did, it's very, very hard to do. Okay, and I'll explain to people why that is the case. Pacquiao got stopped before he became flyweight champion. He was still young. He was still growing. Okay, and then after he became flyweight champion, Bonsai, shout out to XX Raw, by the way. Let me answer your questions, bro. He says, XX Raw says, I think Spence has a better chance at stopping him than Bud versus Shawn. Okay. XX Raw says, I meant that Bud does stop in Shawn. Yeah, I got you. XX Raw says, it's funny how Pac throws those no-look punches. They're sneaky. Man, that motherfucker, he throw an overhand left, too. He don't be even watching that shit. It's like Mexican style. You know what I'm saying? He caught Floyd with that in the 6th round. He caught him with a no-look overhand. Man, that brother, man, I love him, man. I love him. I love his attitude, everything, man. That brother, you gotta love Pacquiao, man. I mean, his fans, some of the Filipino fans, they're a little bit, I understand. It's a national icon. They back him 100%. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love that they back him 100%. And he means a lot to them. But at the same time, some of them, man, some of those fans, all of them, a lot of them are not like that. But some of those fans, man, they be very caustic against Floyd or against any opponent, Jeff Horn or against Timothy Bradley, because these guys beat Pacquiao and they don't accept the loss. And to me, it's like, man, it happens. You win, you lose in boxing. It's okay. It's okay to lose. It's part of the sport. Somebody got to lose. Somebody got to win. Sometimes you get a draw. It happens. Okay. Don't hate on another boxer that beat another boxer. And trash talk and all of that aside, man, I'm gonna say this. We got to elevate this sport. We got to praise the great fighters out there. And when this crap done, yes, we criticize them, but we must praise them as well. Okay, and truth be told, when you look at the great boxers today, you got the Canelo Alvarez, you got the Manny Pacquiao's. Do I have criticism of Canelo? Hell yes. Not to go way off topic here, but Canelo should have faced Caleb Plant. And instead of facing Caleb Plant, look, this is what I'm hearing. It's a rumor. I don't know how true it is. There's a rumor that he's going to be facing Dimitri Bivol at 170 pounds. I'm like, that's just whack as fuck. You know, why can't fight the guy at full? You either fight him fully at light heavyweight, or fight him. You know, don't fight him at all. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what he's doing right now, and it really sours it because I really like the guy. I really like how he fights. I really like the science of what he does. But when it comes to real challenges that he has to take up and face, he disappoints me, man. He lets me down. You know, and he says certain things, and then he don't back his shit up. He said, "Man, I'm going for undisputed." He said this twice now. Okay, at 160, I blame the Golden Boy. No, it's not Golden Boy. I'm learning it's not Golden Boy. This guy, he should have faced Demetrius Andrade and become undisputed. Why didn't he do that? He jumped up two weight classes, no problem with that. Light heavyweight, and faced Sergey Kovalev. All right, who had a tough fight. He had a tough fight, huh? Against Anthony, whatever, I forgot his name, Lions only guy, right? And then now, instead of facing Caleb Plant, he's going to jump up again, face Demetrius. But at catchweight, jump all the way up to 175. Face him at 175. Take his title from him. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. Don't do the catchweight thing, man. You was already up at 175 already. You was up at 175 already. And okay. With all due respect, I'm going off course here, but with all due respect, Bebo said he could come down to 168 to face Canelo. He had made that offer. So okay, I get why you're doing the catchweight thing. You're taking advantage of the situation. I respect that. Okay? But at the same time, man, you said you was going for undisputed at 168. Why are you not making this Caleb Plant fight happen? And I blame you because you're the one that said you wanted to be unified. And yeah, you may face Caleb Plant in the future and all that, but I'm just saying you're disappointing us as fans. You're telling us one thing, we're looking forward to that, and then you just change up gears and you go somewhere else. And to me, I'm not saying he's not a hell of a fighter. I'm not saying he didn't fight a hell of a fights and guys who can beat and stuff. But I don't understand why he's changing his mind on Caleb Plant fight. You get what I'm saying? And of all fights I wanted to see Caleb Plant versus Canelo. Because I know Caleb Plant would definitely push him to the limit. He would test him. I know this. I know the fighter Caleb Plant. Everybody's dismissing Caleb Plant and all that, but I know Caleb Plant would give him the work. He'd give him work. And if he slip up, Caleb Plant would beat him. I know this. So that's what I want to see. I'm not saying that Caleb Plant would downright beat him. I'm not saying that downright he would duck Caleb Plant. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying you disappoint me when you don't face guys you say you was going to face. That's my problem. If you know you wasn't going to face Caleb Plant, well, I mentioned his name. Why did you mention it? Why didn't you just leave that in the download, go do your negotiations, and see when you land something or something's concrete, you go out and you say it. That's all I'm saying. Because when negotiations fall through, it always is souring to the fans. We think of Pacquiao Mayweather. It wasn't Mayweather's fault that Pacquiao turned down the fight the first time, right? No disrespect to Pacquiao, no disrespect to Mayweather. But it was disappointing. No matter how you look at it, whether you was for Mayweather or you was for Pacquiao or you making excuses for Mayweather or you making excuses for Pacquiao, at the end of the day, it was disappointing. All this big hoopla, oh yeah, Mayweather's going to face Pacquiao. And in 2010, it don't happen. That's not cool. We don't need that a lot in boxing, man. Keep that shit on the download. Y'all working on that shit on the download. And when y'all got the fight, then announce it to the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how high profile it is. I don't care what the media say. Don't say zip till you got that fight in your hand. That's what you need to do. That's the problem with boxing. If you ain't got the thing nailed down, don't tell nobody nothing. Don't tell nobody nothing. We don't need to know what's going on behind the scenes like that. If we want to look into it, we can. And let the rumor mill go. Let the rumor mill go about, but don't say nothing. Keep your mouth shut. Don't say nothing. And when y'all got the fight, y'all got the contract, everything signed, sealed, and delivered, and y'all ready to do your campaign and stuff, you come out with your first press conference and you campaign and say, I'm facing this guy. That's cool. That's how it needs to be done. It's hard. That's how it needs to be done. Smash that like button, people. I'm coming back to Pacquiao because I got to talk about him. So, yeah, after Pacquiao was stopped those 2 times, he never been stopped from 1999 all the way up till 2012. He hadn't been stopped. That's 13, 1999, 2012. What was that? 2000. Yeah, that's 13 years, man. Was it 1999? He started boxing in 1995. He became world champion in 1998 or something like that. Y'all fact check that. Okay. Ain't nobody stopping that guy. So you know why nobody stopped him? Because he's not easy to stop. XX Ross says, I picked Errol Spence by stoppage or unanimous decision. You guys can leave your comments in the chat section if you so wish. I'm gonna be straight with you, man. Spence ain't stopping Pacquiao. Okay, he ain't stopping Pacquiao. Like I told y'all, Pacquiao hadn't been stopped in 13 years. If he keeps on boxing, he might be stopped 13 years later. He has a 20-something year career, right? All right, so no, you can't. People feel this is he been stopped by Marquez, and it happens. He was dropped by Marquez. Okay, he was dropped by Marquez, but that don't mean you're gonna stop him, right? He dropped Marquez too. Okay, it was a war. Okay, and Marquez caught him because he was doing the stutter step thing. He don't even do the stutter step no more. He don't telegraph like that. He telegraphs different ways, but he don't telegraph like that. So I don't see Errol Spence stopping. Do I see Errol Spence laying some hands on him, especially in the middle rounds, late rounds? Possibly. I see Errol Spence catching him with something. Of course, catching him with quite a lot of stuff. It's gonna be a fight. But Pacquiao got a lot of rest, and he's in really good conditioning, so he should do very well. He's a tough guy. He's a small little tough guy. Do understand something though? And this is another thing I like about Errol. If Pacquiao get low, Errol can get low too. Errol can get very low. Okay, Errol's man. Y'all haven't even seen what Errol can do, have y'all? Errol can box, and he can box around the ring really, really well. He can box off the back foot very, very well. He's cat-like. He's quick. Okay, he's very, very quick. Okay, so there's a lot of things people don't know. Yeah, he don't do everything. He don't do things like Floyd do. He's different. He's a different kind of fighter. He uses the high guard a lot more, and he's more amateur style. He keeps his hands up so he can shoot the shots really fast. He can shoot the shot really fast, right? So he keeps his hands up more. He doesn't really use the shell so much, but he does ride punches. He still uses the shoulders. He still uses the shoulders as shell. So you got to shell up. See, if you don't shell up, you won't get caught. So he uses his shoulders. He uses the high guard to protect the head, the body, right? Something like Pacquiao. But at the same time, like I said before, this fight is not as easy as people think. You know, Errol's gonna go in there and blast out Pacquiao because he's old. No, that's not happening. And this fight might be closer than people think as well. It might be. It may come down to being because Pacquiao, man, Pacquiao has so much he's gonna bring to the table. Errol's gonna learn a lot. He's gonna learn a lot from fighting Pacquiao. If he thinks Pacquiao's this basic guy, that does basic moves and stuff, he's gonna learn a lot from Pacquiao. You got to stay alert against Pacquiao. You got to be sharp against Pacquiao. All right. And I hope Floyd is giving him that kind of advice because that advice it comes in very, very handy. Okay. So you don't get caught as much. You're gonna get caught. Pacquiao's gonna get to you. He's gonna get to you, and he's gonna get to you a couple times. Okay. You're gonna have to make some adjustments. But at the end of the day, Errol has what it takes to beat Pacquiao. He does. But very similarly, Pacquiao has what it takes to beat Errol. These are the kinds of fights I want to see. When I heard about Tank versus Keith Thurman, that's a great fight. That's a fight I would love to see because we know Thurman got the power to knock out Tank, and we know Tank got the power to knock out Thurman. That's a dangerous fight for both of them. Thurman has more of the physical advantages, it seems. Tank will be more challenged. He's also coming up in weight to face Keith Thurman, so he doesn't know how his power would actually measure up with Keith Thurman. Ultimately, in the end, well, Tank had to box Keith Thurman on the outside, and meaning he had to take risks and get slip past Keith Thurman's jab, get to the inside, and then work his body and get back out. Remember, Thurman has showed us that he's susceptible to the body. He gets hurt to the body. Well, everybody gets hurt to the body, but I mean, Thurman has shown visibly that he's been hurt to the body twice. Okay, a guy who has a longer reach, and Josecito Lopez caught him, hurt him in a fight, but that doesn't really. It's not super applicable to the Tank situation. So what that means is Keith Thurman, you know, has shown some susceptibility. It doesn't mean nothing because when you go into a fight with Tank, you know, Tank's a small guy, you know, he's short, stature, compact, whatever. But it's a fight again that you can't really predict. Like with Errol Spence versus Pacquiao, I'm saying Errol Spence will win the fight, but really I don't really know. Like I can't 100% say that. I would say, well, let me put it this way: he's getting the best advice from Floyd, who beat Pacquiao. He's also uh, got the skill set and tools to beat a Pacquiao. But that don't mean that he's gonna beat Pacquiao. You'll see. Pacquiao gonna be the underdog in this fight. Maybe 3-1, maybe 4-1, right? But I'm looking at Pacquiao how he's trained. I'm looking at his foot speed. I'm looking at the angles that he can create. I look also at the strict game plan and the strategy they're going to be using to get entry points to Errol Spence. And I'm going to say this. A jab don't stop Pacquiao. Jabs don't stop Pacquiao. Okay? I'm being real. Jabs don't stop Pacquiao. But what stops Pacquiao is a jabber who can cut off the angle and set a trap. See, Floyd's his footwork is what was able to make him neutralize Pacquiao. And he wasn't just using a jab. He was using a jab and his lead hand, his right hand and his jab. He was using both hands to keep Pacquiao in order. Right? He didn't use one hand, he used both. That's how good Pacquiao is. All right? And Errol will have to use not just his jab, not just his left hand, he's going to have to use his feet as well. Jab, left hand, feet. He's going to have to get those angles, turn off at an angle to catch Pacquiao as Pacquiao's coming in. And that's not going to be easy to predict because Pacquiao's so explosive, and then Pacquiao might counter Errol at a point where Errol didn't expect it. That's why I said Errol's going to have to fight him at range at first. He's going to have to fight him from the outside at first. Figure out his movement somewhat, and then try to press him to the inside so he can get to his body work. And it's not easy to hit Pacquiao to the body either because he protects his body pretty well. So it's gonna be an interesting challenge for Errol, given Errol's style and the fact that Errol likes to be aggressive and fight in the pocket and fight at mid range. He's gonna have to fight deep up on Pacquiao. He's gonna have to fight on the inside of Pacquiao, like how he fight Mikey on the inside, and he got those body punches in. He's gonna get body punches in on the inside, hopefully, against Pacquiao. You know, but Pacquiao, he's like a Bobby draw. He'll move with the punches too. He rides punches. So it's gonna be real tricky trying to deal with a Pacquiao, man. I'm just saying, he's tricky. You know, he's a tricky dude, man. He's more than meets the eye. He's like a modern Aaron Pryor. XX Raw 2013 says, as soon as you slow down, Errol's going to test your chin with that left hook. There ain't going to be no chin to test. Pacquiao's always behind that high guard. He's always behind that high guard. He gonna get chin check though. Pacquiao gonna get chin check. He gets chin check at least once in a fight. But he can fight through a broken jaw, man. That Pacquiao's a bad motherfucker, man. He can fight through anything. He was born to fight. He was born to bang, man. I think this will be Pac's last fight. It might be. I think he's gonna have one more fight in the Philippines. In my opinion, Thurman gains nothing by beating Tank, but Tank gains if he wins that fight. Okay, let me explain to you why Keith Thurman versus Tank makes sense. Okay, Tank, like Pacquiao, is making history. Now you could say the same thing. You could say Errol ain't got nothing to benefit by losing to Pacquiao. No, if you lose to Pacquiao, like Thurman lost to Pacquiao, you lost to a living legend. You lost to a living legend. You can't lose. You can't lose losing to Pacquiao unless you get stopped, which that's not gonna happen. That's gonna be a very competitive fight all the way to the end, right? So I mean, you can't. I mean, with Tank, Keith Thurman, he delivers on exciting fights. So let's say Keith Thurman loses to Tank. It don't reflect negatively on Keith Thurman, especially if it's a close fight, which it more than likely would be, and probably go to a decision. Because them two guys ain't gonna allow each other to just hit each other like that. And if Keith Thurman gets a chance to go for the kill, he's gonna go for the kill and finish Tank. And if Tank gets a chance to go for the kill, he's gonna go for the kill and finish Keith Thurman. But because of that, them guys gonna be on their P's and Q's. Keith Thurman's not gonna be the Keith Thurman that went into space back here. He's gonna be more focused. He will take Tank very seriously, having had the experience with Pacquiao, right? Like I said, you think about these fights: Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman versus Tank, if that was to happen. Them are 50-50 fights, to be honest with you. They're 50-50 fights. That's what makes them so exciting. The matchup is just totally exciting because both of the guys action fighters. Both guys in both fights are action fighters. They're action fighters. You know you're gonna get action. Okay? You just don't know how the outcome is gonna actually turn out. Right? And that's what makes compelling fights. Right? That's what makes compelling fights. So, I mean, Keith Thurman versus Tank is an interesting fight for a number of different reasons. One, Keith Thurman hasn't fought in a number of years, so he'll have a little bit of ring rust, whereas Tank was fighting. The other thing is Keith Thurman. We don't know if he was training all that time, and staying in shape. Because if there's one place he should be training really hard for is his body. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Tank is Tank's a good body puncher. See what I'm saying? He's excellent. I mean, his last stoppage was because he hurt the guy to the body. Okay, it's Tank. So the fight, if you look at that fight, you can see how Tank could win it by, getting past Keith Thurman's jab, getting past Keith Thurman's right hand, getting to Keith Thurman's body. Or you can see how Keith Thurman could win it because he's so much bigger and he's welterweight, been always a welterweight. And you can see him getting to Tank using his boxing IQ at times, pressing against Tank, establishing I'm the bigger guy and coming after Tank from the get-go and pushing him back. You saw what he did to Danny Garcia early on in the fight. And, that's something that he would want to do to Tank, too. So you could see how Keith Thurman could set the tone of the fight. Box maybe down to the latter half of the fight, box Tank, pressing with his power. Or you could see how Tank could be like, oh, you pressing with your power? I'm going to press with my power. And he got, he's going to be a little quicker than Keith Thurman because he's coming up in a way. And, slipping punches, maybe boxing off the back foot initially, making Keith Thurman go find him and then counter punching him, you know what I'm saying? And getting caught with some shots too. So you could see how either guy could win the fight. When you look at Errol Spence versus Manny Pacquiao, tactical, intentional, Errol Spence, tactical, intentional, you know, calculated. You can see Errol boxing Pacquiao on the outside at first, watching to see what Pacquiao's doing, ready to light up Pacquiao at the moment's notice if he slip up, And you can see Errol taking that, being first, coming out there, being first, You can see Errol taking that fight, edging it out. Whereas you can see Pacquiao, waiting, coy, smart, watching the distance, watching the timing. Let Errol get his shots off. Let Errol get comfortable and relax. And then blitzing his ass. You know what I'm saying? And taking the momentum from him, stealing it around. And that's how Pacquiao wins the fight. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could see stuff like that because Pacquiao's a veteran. He's really sharp, and smart. That's what y'all don't realize. Errol is not a veteran. He's young. And that's why Floyd being in Errol's ear is critical to this fight. Because if Floyd is telling Errol certain things, Errol's getting that he doesn't get the veteran experience, but he gets the heads up of how he should approach the fight. Because if Errol don't approach this fight, if Errol feel he can just box Pacquiao a bit and then break him down, walk him down, he's gonna be tough enough to Pacquiao won't win the fight. If Errol comes with that approach, I'm gonna walk through Pacquiao, I'm gonna walk through this, walk through, he's gonna get beat the fuck up, and he's gonna lose. He has to stay agile, sharp, alert, use the jab, pop the jab, the strong jab he has, and use that pivot work. He don't do different kinds of jabs and all of that stuff. Floyd do that. He pop a nice strong jab. But I'm gonna let him know that nice strong jab ain't gonna do everything for you. You gonna see. Pacquiao ain't what you think he is. He's a lot more. And I'm telling you again, I'm gonna tell everybody out there, because what you need, quote what you need on this. I'm telling everybody out there, he's smarter than when he faced Floyd. He's a lot more cunning, a lot more smarter. Okay? That Floyd experience that he had with Floyd, it might have been embarrassing to him and to his people, but he learned from that fight a lot. Floyd has an influence on Pacquiao. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, he a lot smarter than y'all think. Okay? He a lot smarter fighter. So if Errol thinks he's just going to go in there and deal with this dude, it's not as easy as you think. You can try and take him out. But you can't take out a guy unless you break him down. Errol knows this. But you got to break him down. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right? Okay, so, but Errol will handle the stories. I have confidence in Errol. I'm not going to say he's going to win the fight 100%. I'm not going to say that. But I'm just saying, I'm giving you guys some things to consider in your brains about this fight. This fight is not what you think it is. Okay? There's a reason why Pacquiao's so confident facing Errol. It's nothing to do with the accident. It has to do with Errol's style of fighting that he's seen so far. But he should pay attention to that Mikey Garcia fight. You should pay attention to that. Yeah, Errol does get hit in the Kell Brook fight and all those other fights. He does get hit, Shawn Porter or whatever. But don't get it twisted. That motherfucker can box if he wants to. He can box. And box very, very well. And if you think you can just go in there and catch him with something, it doesn't work like that. He can frustrate you. He can keep you on the outside. He can keep you at bay. And when you're most frustrated, that's when he can strike. Stop breaking your ass down. So Errol's patient. You can see he's composed. He's got that composure. He's patient. Like Floyd said, he a beast. But the beast don't have to come out and show he's the beast initially. He can wait till you slow down a little bit. Then he starts to become a beast. You know what I'm saying? Errol's he's smart. Okay? It's two smart fighters in there. It's not just but like I said before, the experience Pacquiao has, he's gonna show Errol a couple things. Errol's gonna keep in his arsenal for the rest of his career. Win, lose, or draw. Errol's gonna be a better fighter for this fight. This is a great fight for him. With a cunning, tricky veteran. Not everything that you see is really what you see. It's a mirage. And I enjoy fights like that. XX Raw says Floyd keep touching Pac's body a lot. Pac kept looking at the ref. Yeah, you shoot that straight right to the body. Shoot the straight right to the body. Shoot the jab to the body. Yep. Through the high guard. Catch him down low. Yes. Yes, that's true. Back would pull up his trunks. Don't underestimate Errol. Errol has been sparring Floyd for years. I don't underestimate Errol at all. I know what Errol is. Errol is a bad motherfucker. He's a bad boy. And not just if Errol wants to box, Errol can box. And he has quick feet. People don't realize that. But he moves more like a cat. He can move very softly on his feet, or he can plant and move to you. And shuffle, kind of like Canelo. He shuffled to you. because he keeps that defense pretty tight. He gets hit. He gets hit. But you're gonna get hit if you're pressing the attack. It's different when you're pressing. You're gonna get hit. Something, right? But with Pacquiao, you don't want to. You don't want to get hit by Pacquiao because Pacquiao don't hit you one shot. He hits you like three, four, five shots. Okay, he's very, very fast. He's not hitting you with one. He's hitting you with two, three, four. When Floyd tried to press Pacquiao, I remember Floyd tried to press Pacquiao in the eighth round again. Pacquiao sidestepped him and hit him a right. I think it was a straight right with a double left, like that. Pacquiao is trouble, man. He don't hit you with one punch. He hits you with two, three, four punches. I remember Mike Tyson talking about Evander Holyfield. He said, it wasn't about who hit me with the hardest punch. It was about guys like Holyfield would hit you with like two, three, four punches. You get one bop, and you think it's over, and then you get bop, 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 bop. That's the problem. And they all got heat on them. Because if you think, if Pacquiao was a featherweight, he'd be like George, hitting like he got bricks in his hands for a small guy. And you see he has big hands as a small guy, big calves, big hands. He built to be a fighter. He's like a pygmy George Foreman. He's like a pygmy Mike Tyson. He got the pop, but because he's so small, when he moved all the way up to welterweight, the welterweights could take his power a little bit better. But he'd be throwing bricks. He'd be throwing 3, 4, 5 bricks. It's like you get hit with 3, 4, 5 bricks in a second. Bah, 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 bah. His bricks are small bricks, but nonetheless, he hitting you with bricks. You know what I'm saying? You saw what he did to Floyd. He hit Floyd with that overhand left, and Floyd went through good. Floyd was I remember he caught him with a double. He caught him with a double left when Floyd was against the ropes, and Floyd did like this. Oh. He hit fast and hard, and that can discombobulate you. That can disorient you. I remember Shane Mosley said, "Man, when Pacquiao hit him, he got dropped. He said, I didn't even feel the punch." he said, that dropped me. What he didn't realize is Pacquiao came in with it was a overhand right and then a lead left. So it was bop bop. You got hit bop bop. His nervous system never even processed the thing. It just fell. It's like system shutdown. He was shocked because Pacquiao's so fast, man, and he spring off them big feet. He hit you bop bop. Your system's still processing it while you on the ground looking up at the ceiling. He's quick, and he got power. And speed kills. So it's speed. He got density, bone density in those hands. So that bone density rattled your skull, man. Shut everything down. Boom. Shut everything down. That's Pacquiao. Keith Thurman got knocked down. Keith Thurman don't know what the hell happened. He was looking up at Pacquiao surprised. How his legs gave out on him. Well, because he moved so fast, he hit you with a shot to the stomach and a hook to the head. And that's another thing about Pacquiao. Like, he mixes it up, and he has trademark shots. So if you kind of know his trademark moves, that can help you. So again, Errol probably did his homework. His trainer probably did his homework on Pacquiao, so they know what they're dealing with. Yeah. So but Pacquiao, man, he's a great fighter. And you see, you can know all his trademark moves. You don't know when he's going to use them. All these things. It's about timing. You got to stay alert against Pacquiao. Errol's going to have to stay alert against him. If he just, like I said before, if he's just going to go in there and try to take punches from Pacquiao, he's going to get beat up. Because Pacquiao he throws a number of punches. He can throw 8-punch combination. Pacquiao's a guy that They few fighters out here today that throw a lot of combinations, right? Now Pacquiao throw a punch combination on you. Some will hit, some will miss. You know what I'm saying? But he throw it and real fast. We talking about a punch combination in probably a second, second and a half. Yeah. So he's a problem. There's a lot of things about Pacquiao that make him a problem, and Errol probably factored those in. I mean, he's seen Pacquiao most of his career. A lot of people say nothing that Pacquiao do surprise me. Yeah, with Thurman said his composure. He don't just attack you like that. you know. And Thurman thumped because Pacquiao was like, man, he hit hard, man. That ninja hit hard. So he gonna be sore coming out of the fight against Errol for sure. But once he's healthy, once he's not killed, once Errol didn't kill him, uh, he can move on to bigger and better things. And who knows? Maybe he wins. Maybe he wins this fight. I mean, I'm not counting him out at all. Like Bob Arum said, I don't count Pacquiao out of nothing. You know what I mean? This is what you guys are saying again. Yes, XX Roy says, well, I got to go to work. Peace, my brother. Peace to you, brother. Thank you for coming through. I mean, this is a weird hour to be having this. And a lot of you guys came through. Some of you guys did not smash the like button. I don't know why. I would like if you appreciate if you guys would smash the like button. Uh, but this is the reason why I'm going to tell y'all right now. I don't think Errol's going to stop Pacquiao. That's not going to happen. You know. As for Errol saying he's going to send Pacquiao into retirement, that's up to Pacquiao if he wants to retire or not. Errol's trying to say he's going to put a beating on Pacquiao such that Pacquiao be beat out of the sport. Buddy, you got another thing coming. This is not a Pacquiao that's like, fighters who got beat out of sport. Like Pacquiao beat Oscar De La Hoya out of sport, right? But Oscar De La Hoya wasn't Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I mean? Oscar De La Hoya was, um, he wasn't himself. You know what I mean? He took a very bad beating, but Bernard Hopkins wasn't himself. He was an old shell of himself. You know what I mean? Sugar Ray Robinson, when he fought that young guy and he lost, he wasn't. He wasn't fully himself. You know what I mean? This is not the case with Pacquiao. Pacquiao is himself. You know, Errol's gonna try to make it look like Pacquiao's not himself. He's gonna try to make the fight not a Pacquiao fight. And man, I'm wishing Errol the best with that. I just don't think that he has fully factored in that this Pacquiao, has all the vitality, the strength, and all of that that the younger Pacquiao had. I don't think he realizes that, and just is a lot more smarter. And the reason why Pacquiao is able to do this because he stays active a lot, and he hasn't been boxing. He took a break from boxing. He wasn't doing any boxing per se, and so was relaxing the body, letting it rest up since the Thurman fight. So his body's gotten sufficient rest. So he's gonna come fired up. He's gonna come with his A game on all cylinders. He's gonna come in fired up. And Errol's he's young, so he has the youth, so his body repairs faster. Clearly, he does because he got in the accident and he was repaired already. So, but Errol's supposed to do that. He's supposed to want to go for the KO. He's supposed to want to be a man down kind of guy, make a statement, a man down, step up to the occasion, rise to the occasion, as we say. But I don't see him stopping Pacquiao. But maybe he does. Maybe he does stop Pacquiao, and that would be great for him. But it wouldn't be because it's an old Pacquiao. It wouldn't be because Pacquiao is 42 years old. It wouldn't be because people think that Pacquiao's past his prime. No, it would not be because of that. That would be an excuse. Okay, Pacquiao that Errol's going to face is a formidable Pacquiao and a smarter Pacquiao, and I just don't see Pacquiao's way too smart to get knocked out. Way too smart for that. I don't think Errol's the guy to do that job. I don't think there's anybody right now on the boxing landscape in welterweight that can knock out Pacquiao. Not even Shawn Porter. Right? And how do I know this? I looked at the Jeff Horn fight, and Jeff Horn was sloppy and everything, and was pressing Pacquiao. Porter don't got the power anyway to do really what he wanted to do against Pacquiao. He pressed Pacquiao, probably beat Pacquiao, but with respect to Porter knocking out Pacquiao, stopping Pacquiao, no, that ain't happening. Nobody can stop Pacquiao right now. I don't think. I'm not trying to get Pacquiao overconfident. I think he should be as cautious, careful, cunning, as strategic, as composed as he's been in the last couple of fights. And I hope that he's well rested, he's training properly, not overtraining. I'm glad that the people are keeping him from overtraining. And so when he comes in the fight, we get the best Pacquiao possible that we can get at that age. And just, I just like to see the older fighter who's so much more experience and wisdom in the sport of boxing. See him, get that young gun a run for his money. Let him know, hey, you got to respect the old guard. You got to respect us. And this one's for the old guard. So I'm backing Pacquiao to win because I'm an old guard guy. Errol Spencer's favorite to win. And Errol's a hell of a fighter. Hell of a fighter. Uh, Errol's a guy that you can't count out. Everybody's always going against Errol. Always going against Errol. Um, so I would be very happy if Errol wins this fight. I'll be very happy if Errol wins this fight because Errol's one of my favorite fighters right now as well. I'm only saying this because I'm an old guy. So I'm back in Team Old. But let Errol know that boxing as a sport evolves and the younger cat evolves. And so my brain tells me Errol's going to win this fight. He's going to be prepared. He's going to be ready. He's going to win it. He's going to win it. And that's what my brain tells me because he sort of has certain things that help to push the pendulum in this direction. It kind of favors him a bit. But you don't know. We never know. So we have to watch and see how the fight will actually play out. But no, Pacquiao ain't gonna be no easy work for Errol. If he thinks it's gonna be easy work and just chop him up like sushi, Pacquiao ain't coming back. Pacquiao ain't coming back to be easy work. No way, Jose. All right, let's talk Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford. Now, everybody behaving like Terrence Crawford is this beast. Terrence Crawford gonna knock out Sean Porter. First of all, yes, Errol Spence dropped Sean Porter. That is true. But here's the thing. Sean Porter, yes, he could take a hellacious shot. We know that. But Sean Porter has been getting better at his defense than ever before. And the game plan they will have for Terrence Crawford will be one to push Terrence Crawford to this uncomfortable territory. Whether Terrence Crawford boxes, whether he chooses to bang and engage, whether he chooses to uh, push Sean Porter backwards, Sean Porter and Kenny Porter is going to have a game plan for everything that Terrence Crawford does. Now, the nice thing about this is Terrence Crawford's got so many options and he's so very versatile that Sean Porter is going to have to come with a really good game plan. But Sean Porter's been getting better and better fight by fight. And I believe he's going to push Terrence Crawford to the brink. And it's going to be a hell of a fight because this is the last guy that Sean Porter needs to face. I mean, barring Pacquiao, who he sparred, he would have had work with each and every one of the top tier fighters. This is his last chance to become world champion in a manner of speaking, in the sense that he can get a rematch with Errol Spence if he was beat Terrence Crawford. So Shawn should be really hungry about this opportunity, more than the Udenis Ugas, eliminator that can come up and then he, get to fight Udenis Ugas with the championship. I think this fight he's gonna be real hungry for it. And yeah, Sean Porter's been in the welterweight for a good while, good minute. But Sean Porter is a much bigger guy than most welterweights. In fact, Shawn Porter is bigger than Terrence Crawford in terms of size. If he was to leave welterweight and allow himself to get a little bit bigger, Shawn Porter would be, you know, a much bigger guy. Even at 154 pounds, Shawn Porter would be a big 154. Okay, because Shawn's up there. Shawn played football and he was 200 something pounds. Okay, a muscle. So Shawn's a big guy. He's bigger than Errol. That's why he can take Errol's punches. He's bigger than Terrence. He's bigger than you know all the Buffaloes. He's bigger than Keith Thurman. So that's why his punch resistance is the way it is. And then the way how Shawn Porter fights and how explosive he is and how quick he is. I know Terrence is a switch hitter, so he can get different angles on his shots, and that can open up opportunities for him to hit Shawn. But you got to be really, really fast and really, really quick to deal with that. Shawn brings so much to the table. Not to mention, Shawn also is a switch hitter. He can switch hit. He does all kinds of things, shifts, and all kinds of stuff. So while Terrence brings some interesting factors to the table, Shawn brings a lot of other things to the table. Okay, and they're gonna study Terrence, particularly how he likes to chip into the southpaw stance and check hook guys or catch them with right hooks. They're gonna watch that. They're gonna watch it. Terrence Crawford's jabs and the rhythm at which he jabs. They're gonna watch it here how he like to do that little foot shovel thing. They're gonna watch a lot of stuff that Terrence Crawford do, and they're gonna have a game plan to keep him uncomfortable. When he's trying to reset, that's when they're gonna press him. When he tries to, uh, you know, just right after the offensive maneuver that he does, if he don't come up with another offensive maneuver, Shawn gonna be ready for him. You know what I mean? So Shawn's been coming after Terrence Crawford like a pit bull. He's gonna be putting pressure on him. At times he's gonna be boxing Terrence Crawford, letting Terrence Crawford come to him. He gonna mix it up. Because Shawn can do a little boxing. He can do a little bit of pressing. Shawn does a little bit of everything. Okay, and Shawn has been dropped twice. He's been dropped by Adrian Broner. Actually, three times I think it was. He was dropped by Julio Diaz, Adrian Broner, and Errol Spence. So that's good news for Terrence Crawford if you're trying to stop him. He's been dropped a couple times, but he's always gotten back up. He's never been groggy when he came back up. He's being sharp. He actually gets more pissed off. So, this is a good test with Terrence Crawford. Now, Shawn has come up short against Keith Thurman, come up short against Errol Spence, and he's come up short against Kell Brook. You know, so he's come up short a couple times. So that will work in Bud's favor. Just looking at those fights and seeing what those guys have done to make him come short. Of course, he's evolved since then. So some of those strategies and tricks like clinching and that stuff won't work with Shawn. Shawn knows how to break the clinch. What Kell Brook did taught Shawn how to need to break the clinches. Shawn was more reckless as well. Shawn was hurting himself more than he was hurting Kell Brook. He was ramming into Kell Brook's, body, his elbows, and all kinds of things. Shawn was kind of wild. He's not wild like that anymore. His defense has tightened up significantly, and he'll need to tighten up his defense even more against a sharpshooter like Terrence Crawford. But one of the things that Shawn's going to do, and Terrence needs to train for that, is pacing. Shawn can take the pace way, way, way up, and got you so you can't think enough. He can take the pace really up, far up. And I saw him tag up Errol Spence a couple of times because he just changed the pacing. Okay, Pacquiao could do that as well. He's more accurate than Shawn, so that's why a lot of people look at that and Pacquiao could be Errol Spence. You know, see what you guys are saying in the chat section. Right. So I'm saying much more. So my point anyway is that for Terrence Crawford to knock out Shawn Porter, he's gonna have to catch him with more than one punch. He's gonna have to catch him with more than two punches and flush punches on his chin. He's gonna have to work Shawn Porter's body. You know Shawn Porter's gonna be going at Terrence Crawford's body, take his legs from him. I mean, Errol was tired at the end of the fight against Shawn Porter. You know, so you got to understand Porter is a guy that will push you to the max. He does things to make you uncomfortable. So, he's going to be looking for ways to make uh, Terrence Crawford uncomfortable. He's going to rough him up inside of there. Terrence is going to try and show he's the stronger guy. You can't be the strong. You're not the stronger guy against Shawn. You're just not. You're not going to be the stronger guy against Shawn. Shawn was roughing up Errol Spence. Errol's a bigger guy than Terrence. Yeah, he roughing up Errol Spence. He roughed up Keith Thurman. He roughed up Danny Garcia, and he's gonna rough up Terrence Crawford. Okay, so it's gonna be a rough and rugged fight. Shawn reminds me of Marcus Maidana. I like Marcus Maidana. I would love to see Terrence Crawford versus Marcus Maidana. That's another fighter who's rough and rugged, got a good chin. I know Marcus is still training and stuff in the background. Nobody's talking about it, but he's there. But that's a guy again that I think if you're talking about fighting, that's a guy that's a problem. Marcus Maidana. I'm hoping that he comes back. And yeah, Sean's a problem. So no, I don't think that Terrence Crawford's going to knock out Shawn. And if Terrence Crawford physically knock out Shawn, good luck to that. If you look at the guys Terrence Crawford's knocked out, they've been guys who've not really been fighting at welterweight, or they've had few fights. They didn't really have a whole lot of fights. Shawn's been fighting all through COVID and stuff. He's been fighting, so he's active. Just recently, he had a performance there, so Shawn's active. Um, is Shawn one of those fighters? That's not durable. He's a very durable fighter. You know what I'm saying? Bart Gasby comes out and says, "I think Pac will beat Spence, but the PBC judges will give it to Spence so they can milk another last fight rematch with Pac." Thank you, Ali, with Spence. Charlo. No, I don't think so. I don't think that if Pacquiao beats Errol Spence, he's gonna beat him in such a fashion that judges ain't gonna be able to do nothing else but give it to Pac. And Pac's the living legend, and you saw the judges give Pac the Keith Thurman fight. And they had to because of that body punch. There were two significant punches in that fight that changed the momentum of the fight, right? First one was when Pacquiao crashed Keith Thurman, dropped him, right? That was in the first round. Momentum of the fight was going Keith Thurman's way most of that fight, most of that up to that point in that round. And then Pacquiao just flipped it, right? And then, Keith Thurman was trying to catch up, play catch up. Keith Thurman started coming to his own around 6, 7, 8, 9. And then Pacquiao changed the momentum of the fight again in round 10, where he just, again, caught him with a body shot. It was significant, right? And that just changed the whole complexity. So if Pacquiao beats Errol Spence because he did some significant shit, right? Everybody remembers the rounds when Pacquiao did damage to Floyd, right? 4th round, 6th round, right? Significant. Pacquiao won those rounds. There ain't no ifs and buts about that, right? 8th round, he did some stuff, but Floyd came back and hit him with some hooks, right? Coming down to the end of the round. Floyd did some significant stuff. You remember the rounds Pacquiao won because they're memorable rounds. You remember the shots Pacquiao lands, like with Adrian Broner. You remember when he hit Adrian Broner on the ropes and Adrian Broner was like, whoa, ooh, right? He just combobulated, right? Because when Pacquiao wins a round, he wins it big. He don't win it small. So that you can't rob Pacquiao. Take for instance Jeff Horn. You knew that round 9 was a Pacquiao round, right? Because at the end of round 9, Jeff Horn was, the beginning of round 9, Jeff Horn had a clean face. End of round 9, it was bloody. Jeff Horn was fighting for his life. He got discombobulated. He didn't get dropped, but he got rocked, right? And Jeff Horn's a much bigger guy than Pacquiao, size-wise. And he was using his size and his weight and all that. So a Pacquiao round. You know when Pacquiao wins a round. You know it because it's spectacular. So if Pacquiao wins that fight, they're not going to give it to Errol Spence. Because Errol Spence will be looking bloodied and messed the fuck up. Okay, that Keith Thurman was. He got a bloody nose, got busted up. All right, you can't deny Pacquiao a fight when he's beating the shit out of a fighter. You can tell. Right? So, no. Pacquiao wins the fight is because he dropped Errol Spence or he caught him with some really good shots and he was countering him and catching him with some really good shots. And it's going to show. Errol Spence is going to show. He's going to react to it. Okay? So, no, he's not going to get robbed. I don't remember any time Pacquiao ever got robbed, actually. I thought Timothy Bradley beat Pacquiao. I thought Jeff Horn beat Pacquiao. I thought Marquez beat Pacquiao. I thought Mayweather beat Pacquiao. Okay, them guys beat Pacquiao. They did. Okay. Now Timothy Bradley though coming out of that fight, he had two bad legs. Right? He had two bad legs coming out of that fight. That's Pacquiao. He gonna make you turn and twist and twist and turn, and you gonna break your legs. Okay. In the Jeff Horn fight, he couldn't get that clearance. Jeff Horn was smothering him too much. It was sloppy and it was a dirty sloppy fight. It was an ugly fight. Ugly. That's the word I was looking for. It was an ugly fight. The Jeff Horn, he do that weird little shuffle with his foot, like Pacquiao do, and he kind of matched Pacquiao's shuffle, and he got to the inside. He bum rushed Pacquiao, get to the inside, and then he started hitting him with slapping shots. And he rocked Pacquiao on the outside a couple times too, but he was mostly getting his licks in. Pacquiao wasn't getting to do much because he get on the inside and bully Pacquiao around the ring, right? He's either on the outside or on the inside. He wasn't staying in the mid range to fight Pacquiao. That's the trick. Back in the mid range fight. So Pacquiao learned from that Jeff Horn fight. And he hasn't allowed guys to do that, to keep him from his mid range to start with, and also to exploit him in terms of once you get right up on him, you can rough him up and stuff. He's not been allowing that to happen anymore. He learned from that fight. That's what people don't understand. This Pacquiao is different. He's different to the Pacquiao that faced Floyd. He's different to the Pacquiao that faced Bradley. He's different to the Pacquiao that faced Marquez. He's different. He's a smarter Pacquiao. He's a lot more savvy of boxing. He boxed more, actually. You know? So he's learned from those experiences. He's grown from those experiences. That's what makes this fight so interesting because there's a reason why he's going straight at Spence with all the smoke. It has nothing to do with the flaws in Spence. It has to do with experience. Spence don't have that experience. He's going to experience a southpaw of Pacquiao's caliber for the first time in his career. And will he pass the test? We'll see. If he takes it seriously, he should. But if he think he's going out there to knock out Pacquiao because he old, he got another thing coming. That talk, you leave that to the curb. You're dealing with an elite fighter who's very experienced and still has most of his athleticism and most of his faculties. The motherfucking ass need to chill about the knockout stuff. If it come, it come. But you just try and get that win. That's what he need to do. Because Pacquiao ain't no joke. He's no joke. There's a reason he's around. There's a reason he's at the top of the sport of boxing. There's a reason why that's happening. It's not just happening by chance. So, no, I don't think that Pacquiao get robbed. Especially if he's going to make history. Shit on PBC, Al Heyman's network. Oh, hell yeah. If Pacquiao deserves that win, he going to get a win. He going to get his win. And no, they won't have no. I think Pacquiao gonna go and face Terrence Crawford after that. He gonna face Terrence Crawford if he beats Errol Spence. Maybe he'll face Terrence because he can be up for that challenge. Because everybody say he ducked Terrence Crawford, so why not face him? If he beats Errol Spence, why not face Errol Spence's nemesis, Terrence Crawford, and beat his ass? You know what I'm saying? What's to stop him from doing that? Right? So I think that he would take on that other bigger challenge. I don't know if he get past Crawford. I think Crawford like to engage too, so maybe. But we can't go that far. I would say this. Let's see what happens in this fight. Because I'm not guaranteeing that Pacquiao will win this fight. Absolutely not. This is not that kind of fight. Errol Spence is a very smart fighter. So, like I said before, I think Errol has a lot of stuff working in his favor in terms of that Mayweather talking to him, because Mayweather will be able to heads him up on a couple things, let him know the situation, let him know certain things Pacquiao do. Uh, that I think is going to be vital information for Errol if when he gets into the fight, because he can't go in there and just think he's going to bully Pacquiao. That's not going to happen. You know, Pacquiao's a small guy, but he is a problem. And y'all gonna see how legit Pacquiao is. His performance is gonna be impressive. Gonna impress y'all. Whether he loses or he wins or he gets a draw, it could end up in a draw. You never know. Um, it's gonna be a very impressive performance. Very impressive. Okay. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. This fight is really is going to be a really great fight, and I'm looking forward to it. With respect to uh, Terrence and Shawn, like I said before, that's another very good fight. You know, and Terrence has got he's taking Shawn seriously. So I'm really happy about that. I'm looking forward to those two going at it. And will Shawn Porter win the WBO belt? It's up for grabs. I think that's a 50-50 fight. That's a 50-50 fight. You know, I favor Terrence because Terrence hasn't lost, and other guys have beaten Shawn Porter, but Porter again, like I said before, these fighters grow from their losses, so you just never know. You never know, and that's why I said it's 50-50. It's up in the air. I think Terrence should get it, should pull it through. It's gonna be very competitive. Shawn pushes guys. You know, this is gonna be a very competitive fight, and it might be a close nail biting fight like Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter, and maybe something Terrence does makes a difference in the fight and turns the fight, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe Shawn wins the fight. Maybe Shawn wins the fight, or maybe it's a draw. You never know. You just never know. You know, these competitive fights. These are really great matchups. That's a phenomenal matchup. So I'm absolutely looking forward to that. You know. So that's what I got for you guys this morning when it comes to boxing. I'm going to do a whole segment on Manny Pacquiao. So if I get a chance, I'm going to do another live. And we're going to talk about why Manny Pacquiao is the myth, the legend, the myth, the legend of Manny Pacquiao. We're going to break it down. Um, for my Filipino fans out there, I love Filipinos. They're such lovely people. Some of my favorite directors and movies are Filipino. Um, but for my Filipino fans out there, man, you should be proud of Pacquiao, what he's accomplished in the Philippines. It's a great guy, man, a great guy. And yes, there are asterisks on his career and all of that. I don't know, but coming down to the end of his career here, coming down to the end of his career, I really can't find no asterisk with it. Keith Thurman was Keith Thurman. That was Keith Thurman that faced Pacquiao. That wasn't some whittled down catch weight deprived. Yeah, he didn't look so great against Jose Lopez. I mean, he did beat his ass almost every single round except for that seventh round. But Keith Thurman, man, he a bad boy, and Pacquiao beat him. Pacquiao beat him. So, shit, I ain't gonna write off Pacquiao. He just beat Keith Thurman. Rolling into Errol Spence, we're gonna see what he can do. And like I said, I can do Pacquiao. Pacquiao can hang with any one of those guys. He can hang with Errol Spence. He can hang with Terrence Crawford. I told y'all this. So go into this fight, I expect exactly that. Will he win? I don't know. If he win, okay, but he gonna make a great account of himself. Great account of himself. Errol's gonna realize I underestimated Shawn Porter and I underestimated Pacquiao. He gonna see Pacquiao for why he's so special. Floyd said he's special. There's a reason why he's special. Okay? And y'all gonna see why Pacquiao is special. If Pacquiao gotta go get Errol Spence, he gonna go get him. Okay? Trust me. Pacquiao is that dude. So y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. And why a lot of people love Pacquiao and they're fans of Pacquiao. Because he does a lot of things. And he's a little guy. Remember that, he's a little guy. What I mean by little guy, he came up from the lower classes. He's a little guy, be doing extraordinary things. All right. We're gonna discuss Manny Pacquiao. We're gonna discuss him in terms of greatness. We're gonna discuss it in a lot more detail in my next stream. Look out for it. It may come out in the next hour, next 2 hours, next 3 hours. But look out for the next stream. It might come out tonight. I'm not predicting. I'm not gonna tell y'all when I'm gonna come out with it. But look out for that. I am what you need. Deuces.